Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Monday, the 29th of June, and I'm Curtis Morton. In our headlines, sporting and recreational activities return to St. Kitts and Nevis, and in our feature for this evening, Sarge in charge. We'll take this break, and I'll be right back.
As a fisherman, I use the marine resource wisely so I can conserve our biodiversity, so I can fish for life. It's all about balance.
I preserve biodiversity by the way that I farm. It takes care of my family. It's all about balance.
I have enjoyed these seas all my life. I do my best to conserve our biodiversity because I want my children and my grandchildren to enjoy them as much as I do. It's all about balance.
I'm a park ranger, and my job is to properly manage our protected areas and conserve our biodiversity. It's all about balance.
Youth, let's play a part in conserving our biodiversity and maintaining our natural resources. It's all about balance.
For life, for livelihood, for the future of St. Kitts and Nevis, let's all conserve our biodiversity and use our natural resources wisely. It's all about balance.
Well, I'm back, and we start with this item in general sports. As further easing of restrictions continues in St. Kitts and Nevis, sporting and recreational activities including basketball, cricket, cycling, football, golf, handball, martial arts, judo, karate, taekwondo, netball, para-athlete sports, softball, table tennis, tennis, and volleyball will be allowed according to the 10th edition of the Emergency Powers COVID-19 regulations under the state of emergency, which came into operation from 5 a.m. on Saturday, 27 June 2020, and will expire at 4:59 a.m. on the 25th July 2020 under the SR&O number 27 of 2020. Resumption of sports and recreational activities contributes to the health, economic, social, and cultural benefits to our society emerging from the COVID-19 environment, and therefore a consensus has been arrived at that some sports can be allowed for the next 2 weeks. The sporting and recreational activities will be allowed under two levels, A and B. Under level A, activities can be conducted by a sole athlete or by peers, where 6 feet can always be maintained between the participants. There should be no contact between athletes and/or personnel. Strength and sports-specific training are permitted if no equipment is required or you have access to your own equipment. There should be no sharing of exercise equipment or communal facilities, and personal hygiene measures must be applied away from group facilities, hand hygiene regularly during training with hand sanitizers, and also pre and post training. There should be no sharing of drink bottles or water bottles and towels, and no one should attend training if unwell. As it relates to level B, the activities can be conducted in small groups of not more than 10 athletes and or other personnel in total, and with adequate spacing. Some sharing of sporting equipment is permitted, such as kicking a football, hitting a tennis ball, use of skipping ropes, weights, and mats. There can be no non-contact skills training. Accidental contact may occur, but no deliberate body contact drills such as wrestling, holding, tackling should take place. Gymnasiums are allowed to function once the proper procedures are adhered to. Commercial gyms, yoga, dance, and spin classes are permitted if the conditions outlined before are met. Communal facilities can be used after sport-specific structured risk assessment and mitigation process are undertaken. The use of communal facilities should be minimized with limited numbers of no more than 10 persons. Hand sanitizers should be used on entry and exit to venues, and full body shower with soap before and after training should be done preferably at home. There should be no socializing or group functions. Spectators should be separated from athletes, and spectators should maintain social distancing of at least 6 feet and wear masks. As outlined in SR&O number 27 of 2020, notwithstanding Regulation 10, during a day of limited operation, a person may attend sports training or practice sessions for amateur or other recreational sporting events, and A, all persons shall adhere to social distancing and physical distancing protocol as far as is reasonably practicable. B. All persons shall wear face masks covering their nose and mouth in accordance with Regulation 15, except during the training or practical exercises. And C. All persons shall adhere to the hygiene protocols pursuant to Regulation 14 and Schedule 2. And D. All training or practice sessions shall be in accordance with any other conditions or directives given by the COVID-19 Task Force or the Ministry of Sports. We'll take this break and I'll be back with our feature for this evening.
As a responsible taxpayer, you help to finance free healthcare at all health centers on Nevis. Thank you for putting country above self. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis. Be a responsible citizen.
Well, I'm back, and tonight we feature a recent interview conducted with one of Nevis's finest cricketers ever, Livingston Sargent. Let's take in this. Sarge, I understand that nowadays you're not doing too well, but I want to wish you a really good day. How are you today?
Well, not too bad. Sometimes it's better than some. Today I'm not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay, Sarge, tell us where it all started for you. More than likely, I want to believe you went to the St. Thomas's Primary School. Was cricket a part of your daily activities there?
Oh yes. In those days, mostly what we played was cricket. Nobody usually played football, so cricket was morning, noon, and night. We can't wait until school get recess to go and play cricket.
Were you one of those guys who would tell the story that you might even stay a little too long and get licks when you get home?
Oh yes, well, I have a story that, and I always say I was supposed to tell my mother to apologize for me, because one time she beat me because I went to play cricket and not looking after the animals. And when I reached home, she wanted to beat me, so I stayed outside. So I waited until she gone to sleep and went inside. And the morning, his licks wake me up. So I was so mad about that, but she finally apologized to me, said she's sorry for beating me. If she knew I was going to come so good in cricket,
she wouldn't
have done that.
Those days, did schools have inter-cricket competitions? Did they have those kind of St. Thomas's versus Charlestown and so on? And how did that go for you?
Oh yes, that's where it all started. I can remember my first big score, 50 and over 50 I made against Combermere. We went to Combermere School to play. And Eugene Stapleton, I remember Eugene Stapleton.
Yeah.
He played when he was there. He was the teacher, he was the captain of the side. And we had Jill Skeet. Jill Skeet was the captain. He was the teacher at Combermere. Mm-hmm. And so he was the captain, and he loved cricket. So that was my first big score. But we always play against each other, the school tournament, and I think that helped a lot. The competition, we don't have that nowadays, and that is lacking. Why we don't have, better cricketers, because we're playing less cricket now.
Yeah. Did somebody spot you? Normally, when great cricketers come about, they normally say, this person spotted them and said, that is a talent I need to hone. Did somebody actually say, Sarge, I'm going to look out for you, I think you have a special talent here?
Well, I must give credit to the older guys in the village in Cotton Ground. So that's like Bernard Clark, Santo Borin, and we had Cuthbert Stapleton. Those guys, at that time, we had a good team in Cotton Ground, Pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was young, but they saw the talent, so they pulled me along, and I went and played with them at a very early age, and they gave me all the encouragement that I needed.
What year, what age did you make it into the Nevis team?
I made it in Nevis team when I was, I think it was 17, but I didn't play that year because tournament was to be held in
Antigua.
Nevis.
Oh, okay.
And they started to fix the grounds.
Oh.
And they didn't complete it on time.
Okay.
So the tournament was abandoned that year, but the following year I played in Montserrat. Montserrat was the first place I played.
Do you remember that game, Sarge? Were you nervous? What number did you bat? And please don't tell me you made a duck first time out.
But I can't remember the score, but
okay.
I mean, you must, as a youngster playing for the first time, you must have a little nervousness. So.
Okay.
And but I can't remember the scores in that.
But it wasn't a big
game.
score.
It wasn't a big score.
Okay. Okay. What number you batted though?
I batted number 3.
Number 3. That's early. Wow.
Those are the 2 positions I started.
Okay.
Either opening or
number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact that you opened, well, I've seen you bat against pace and spin, but which one you preferred, if I could use that? Did you like pace? Did you like spin? I mean...
Well, I prefer the pace, the ball coming onto you.
Okay.
You don't have to do much. The ball coming, so you
just stroke it.
Yeah, but spin bowling, you have to do more,
Yeah, you have to do more.
So I prefer pace, but
you handle the spin pretty well.
I can play spin as well.
Yeah. Just as an aside, Halliday, Timmix Halliday, once said that if you can't dance, you can't play spin. What are your thoughts if you were to tell a youngster how to play spin? You don't play it from a crease too much, right?
No. Nowadays, I don't see these guys using the feet at all. They're waiting until the ball, especially playing a spin bowler, they're waiting until the ball drop. If you get in spin and you wait until the ball drop and bounce, you're in more trouble. You have to try, I usually try to, if I can hit the ball on the full before it drop.
Right.
Or on the half volley, you'll be able to control it better that way.
Another thing I noted when I used to watch you play at Grove Park is that you hardly went aerial. You seem to always be into the stroking along the ground mode. Your thoughts on hitting the ball aerial or staying on the ground?
Well, it's safer on the ground because you can't get out. if you want to bat long, you have to hit the ball on the ground. And nowadays I find that the batsmen grab a long on, long off, and they still hitting the ball in the air where the fielders are. So
makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Okay, so after making it as a youngster in the Nevis team, how long did it take you to make your first big score at the Leeward Islands level, and who did you make it against, if you could remember? Your first big score for Nevis.
Let me see. I believe it was against St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
I made 100 in that game.
Bowlers like Wilkin and those guys?
No, I had bowlers like Curry, Gilbert.
Those guys were good, right?
Yeah, and Hicks.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a good team. Harris.
Len Harris, the famous Len Harris.
Team that year.
Okay.
But I usually say that I'm not playing the man itself, I'm playing the ball.
Ball, that makes sense.
So
you're not playing fame.
No matter who the person is,
you're playing the
I'm
ball.
playing the ball. I mean, you're human, I'm a human. If you can bowl, I suppose
can bat. Nice. And there was Carlisle Powell made reference to you recently at Harold Walters' funeral. And he said there was a year when Nevis didn't even make 300, and you made 217, 3 runs short of a record, Leeward Islands record. Merchant made a 50, and Nevis still didn't make 300. You remember that game?
Yeah, actually it was 214.
214.
Yeah, the record was 217.
16. That must have been painful, eh?
Well, it was painful because we needed 2 runs. We were playing Antigua, and Antigua they normally support us, and you could see the players there. They wanted me to make the runs. But we were batting with another guy, Evelyn, and he got out, But
that's the fast bowler for Hanley's Road. Remember?
Yes.
Chapel. What did you tell him when he was about to face? What did you tell him?
I just tell him to hold his end, just don't get out. But he tried his best.
Okay.
Ball hit his pad. It was going down the leg side, hit his pad, and then went back onto the wicket.
Oh boy.
But I just said that Harold's funeral. I wanted to attend, but because of this COVID situation, I didn't get to attend because Harold and me go a long way. When I played for Nevis for the first time, I was a young son. Harold was in the team, and he took me under his wings,
Okay.
and really supported me.
How good was he as an off spinner?
Harold was very good, man. Very good off spinner, and he was also a good batsman too,
Okay.
I don't know if you knew Deep Parry. Deep Parry used to bowl some fast leg breaks.
That's somebody related to Derek?
Their uncle.
Okay.
And Harold is one man I saw who
handled him.
Played him really well. Leg spin, ball coming across you, and Harold used to get back and cut him. He was good. Harold was good, very good. I played with Harold against Australia in St. Kitts, and he got 5 wickets in that game.
Yes, and the record books are saying that it was 4. Carlisle says he wants to call them and get it corrected. Was it 5 for?
I think it was 5 for 60 something.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Harold was a good all rounder.
And a good team man.
A very good, and very good slip fielder in the gully.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, Sarge, you made it into the Leewards team. Those days, I think it was even more difficult to make a combined team. Sorry, those days they didn't have a Leewards, right? They had Leewards, and then you had to get into combined.
Yeah.
How difficult was it for you to get into those 2 teams, Leewards then combined?
Well, to me, it wasn't difficult because I was always one of the leading batsmen in the Leeward Islands tournament, so I used to make the Leeward Island side easily,
And the combined side.
And the combined side as well. We usually have a trial match to pick the combined side, and I usually make runs. So
right. So
it wasn't difficult to me.
And in the combined side, you played alongside a certain gentleman who I always thought was pretty good, but never got his honours either, Irvin Shillingford. How good was he?
Yeah, Irvin Shillingford was a good player.
He was a talent.
Very good player. I used to listen to Leeward Islands cricket, and he always makes a lot of runs.
Yeah.
And it's a pity that he
only played one
test, and in that test match
he made 100. I mean, why is life so unfair?
He was from Dominica, a small country, but he didn't get his real due. But he was a good player, good eyes,
Speaking of which, Sarge, do you think that you came up at a wrong time? Because with all your talent, those days everything was that side, the big islands. Do you think probably Norway would have been a lot easier for you?
Oh yes, I see some guys playing there now, and they're not half as good as I was.
Right.
And they make West Indies side.
Right.
It's just the era that you come up in. It was too early. I often say I wish I could exchange my age with some of these guys now.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier now to make West Indies side. In my days, I had so many good players. Sobos, Kanai, Butcher, Solomon. All those players you have to compete with, apart from being from a small island.
Your biggest score for the Leewards are the combined islands. You remember what that might have been?
My biggest, I never made a century for combined islands. I think my biggest score was 84 or something like that. Against Jamaica in St. Vincent.
Okay.
Actually, that was the same year that Willett
made the
West Indies side.
Okay.
Yeah. But What was the next question?
And your biggest goal for the Leewards, maybe?
Boy.
But you would have had hundreds for the
yes,
Leewards, though.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100.
I remember listening to the radio, and you had an epic battle with a certain gentleman by the name of Newton Dow. I think they actually said you hooked him at one point, and maybe he might have grazed your forehead. Tell me, some of them might be made up stories. Well, how that goes?
I don't
How
know.
that went?
Newton Dow was quick, but you could read him when he gonna bounce. You could see he runs in faster, and he hit the ball way down. So you could judge when he bouncing.
Okay.
So I used to pick him good and so.
Okay.
And well, one innings in Antigua he got me out because the same reason I knew when he gonna bounce. He ran in quickly and he hit it harder, but the wicket didn't have the life in it.
low.
At the last day. So I expected the ball to rise and I ducked, and the ball it hit me on my
Maybe
shoulder.
that's what I was talking about.
And,
Yeah.
and it went on the wicket, but I wasn't afraid of you.
Okay, you handled him pretty well.
Yeah, pretty good. I think if Newton Dow could admit that the hardest hand drive he ever got was from me.
I promise you we will continue this interview tomorrow evening by God's grace. That's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.